Yesterday, Sayadaw touched the fourth, the noble world out of the seven. Out of the seven, the third and the fourth are very important. In the human society, to avoid the evil deed with the moral fear and moral shame is very important and necessary. In humanity, in human behavior, make our human society get down and down. So we must be ashamed of the inhumanity, and we should avoid them, so that we can keep our own world peaceful. At the same time, other people are also peaceful and safe, secure. So through the moral fear and the moral shame, we avoid evil deeds and unwholesome deeds, and also we can uplift our quality of life. And at the same time, our physical, verbal, mental behavior is pure. Our life becomes tranquil and peaceful. So that's why this Hiri Ottappa, moral fear and moral shame, are necessary for our life. And also they are very important because we have to carry out we have to avoid the unwholesome deeds by ourselves, and we have to perform wholesome deeds in time. So that's why it's a necessity to have moral fear and moral shame. And then also we can get great benefit from the moral fear and moral shame. So for this reason, this moral fear and moral shame is called necessary and important. And also is honored as a Lokapala, the Dhamma which protects the world from being destroyed. So Sayadaw explained these points yesterday. And out of the 11 causes of the courageous effort, this Lokapala Dhamma, the moral fear and moral shame is quite important. So Sayadaw would like to explain this point later after the 11 causes of the Viriya. So the fifth noble world is called Sutta, the wealth of the knowledge, the learning. There is two kinds of knowledge, the intellectual knowledge and empirical knowledge. So intellectual knowledge, or the knowledge you can gain from the learning or study, is called Sutta. That knowledge is not very important for the practitioner. If you know about the mind and the body roughly, for example, the body is not consciousness, not conscious, not cognitive. The mind is cognitive, and they are related to each other. They are under the condition or the causality, and then they are impermanent and unsatisfactory and egoless. So if you learn about that through the reading or somebody, the knowledge should be said enough. As you know, we have the senses and sense objects. Their combination produce the seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, and so on. There is no the creator or God involved. No one creates. They are the law of the nature. So if you understand, if you accept to the nature to that extent, your knowledge can be set enough. So all you need to know, all you need to learn before you practice is there are only mind and body, and they are impermanent, suffering and egoless. That's all you need to learn before you practice. And when you put this knowledge into practice, then you have to realize the true nature of mind and body by your own experience. It's just like a water current in the river. You see the water current flowing all the time, but you may be under illusion that the water current is all the time the same. The water in the river is all the time the same. Actually, water is continuously flowing down, so the new current flowing down, old current flowing down, new current succeeds. So all the time changing, ever changing, never lasting. So you cannot see the same river, you cannot get into the same river twice, because it's all the time flowing down. So in the same way, the mental and physical phenomena is also arising and passing away. The old phenomena pass away and new phenomena succeed. So continuously the mental and physical process flowing down like a river. There is no ego or atta or anybody else who create this process. It's the nature of the mental and physical phenomena. So you can see the truth by practicing Vipassana meditation. When your concentration and mindfulness insight knowledge become mature, until you attain the ultimate peace of Nibbana through the Megaphala enlightenment, then your knowledge is accomplished. You achieve the knowledge. That knowledge is called Adhikama Sutta, empirical knowledge. So as mentioned earlier, there is two kinds of the Sutta knowledge, Agama Sutta and Adhikama Sutta. The intellectual learning knowledge or the empirical knowledge. Agama Sutta is a brief learning the Buddha's teaching and keeping the Buddha's teaching in the mind. And then Adhikama Sutta is put the knowledge into practice and starting from the insight into mind and body until you experience the ultimate peace of Nibbana. That knowledge is called Adhikama Sutta, empirical knowledge. So these two kinds of sutta is called Sutta Dhamma, the wealth of the knowledge. Now you are listening Dhamma talk, that's improving your Sutta knowledge. So after listening Dhamma talk, you put it into practice and then you accumulate knowledge. And later you are bound to attain the Adhikama Sutta, the empirical knowledge. So it's quite important to accomplish two kinds of the sutta. In the Pali text called Anguttara Nikaya, one of the sutra put emphasis on the sutta, the knowledge. That sutta mentions the knowledgeable disciple can enjoy several kinds of the benefits. he knows what's unwholesome and wholesome, so he can avoid unwholesome and then he can perform the wholesome. And then thus his life, his moral conduct become blameless, as he can avoid the blameworthy behavior. So in this way he can become lovely, admirable and respectable. And he can purify his mind and physical and verbal mental behavior. So these are all benefits the knowledgeable person, disciple can gain from his knowledge. So as far as you learn about the Buddha's teaching and how to practice meditation, you will be able to purify your mind and body based on the Sila, Samadhi and Panya, morality, concentration and wisdom. And you have to learn these, you have to obtain the knowledge of the Sila, Samadhi and Panya, and you put the knowledge into practice and you become the morally, spiritually civilized and gentle and warriors. So in this way, that you can escape the dirty life. Your life will be uplifted to the higher level, spiritual level. So here is the word Sutta is quite interesting. The Sutta means the knowledge, Ahuda means the weapon of knowledge. So what the use of the weapon is of course for protection. In the society, in the noble and a wise society, it's very important to purify our mind and body, physical and mental behavior for mental defilement. So for that purpose, the Sutta knowledge can be used as a weapon, Ahuda and Pali. So Buddha Vajana, Buddha's teaching, Buddha Vajana in Pali, is described in Pali text as a Ahuda, a weapon. The Buddha's teaching can be used as a weapon to protect ourselves from mental defilement or to defeat the enemies of the mental defilement. So regarding Sutta, the knowledge in brief, all kinds of Buddha's teachings are regarded as a Sutta, the knowledge which you need to have. And they are called Sutta Ahuda, a type of weapon to protect yourself from mental defilement. So if you can make great use of the weapon, you can protect yourself from several kinds of danger. So in the same way, if you can make great use the Buddha's teaching, you can escape the danger of the samsara. As a yogi, you are also honored as a bhikkhu. So bhikkhu means generally refer to the ordained monks and nuns. But if you practice Vipassana meditation, you are also honored as a bhikkhu. That's why Paritek says, if you Patipano hi devo wa manuso wa bhikkhu di sanchai kachati. So whoever practices can be honored can be counted as a bhikkhu, although he or she is not ordained as a monk. So by observing the present phenomena, mind and body, you can see their impermanence, the horrible state of the mental and physical phenomena. And thus you become the less attached to them, and then you become no longer yield to the temptation of them. So you are strong enough, spiritually strong enough to face the loka dhamma, ups and downs of life. So in this way, you see the danger in samsara in the life. So that's why you make great effort in the practice. So in this sense, you are honored as a bhikkhu. Sansare Banya Ekatiti Bhikkhu, the definition of the bhikkhu. If you see the danger in the life, the cycle of life, rebirth, you are regarded as a bhikkhu. So even the fully ordained bhikkhu, they may not have such a spiritual sense of the danger of samsara in life. And then he is just bhikkhu, he is just bhikkhu in terms of the Vinaya monastery rule and regulation, but cannot be said to be a bhikkhu. As mentioned earlier, there are three kinds of the vata cycles. So first of all, the kilesa cycle, the cycle of the defilement. So avijja, ignorance, delusion, craving and clinging, upadana, these are the head leading defilements. Based on these leading defilements, the avijja dana, you may commit evil deeds, or you may perform the wholesome deeds which can lead you to the rebirth again and again. The wholesome deeds produce the wholesome rebirth, good rebirth, blissful rebirth, unwholesome deeds, evil deeds that bring about the unwholesome evil and lower rebirth. So in this way, based on avijja and kana, ignorance and delusion and attachment, you will reborn as a living being, and once you are reborn as a living being, right away you free attached to your new life, and then which follow by the avijja, ignorance and delusion. So the cycle of the defilement turning again round and around, and then you perform good or bad deeds, and that's the cycle of the karma turning round and round, and you reborn again. So in this way, the cycle of life and rebirth never ends. So once you gain the knowledge, and for example, when you see the truth of phenomena, you see the mind and the body. The moment you see the mind and the body in its true nature, you will no longer attach to that object which you have observed. Then there will be no room for any other mental defilements. And at the same time, there is no chance for the karma, new karma. So regarding that, the object you noted, the object you have noted, there will be no room for the mental defilements, karma, and their resultant phenomena. So in this way, the samsara, the cycle, can turn back the other way around. So the most important is you have to cut off the mental defilements by observing phenomena the moment they take place. So whatever phenomena you observe cannot arouse any kinds of mental defilements. At the same time, you can develop 8 khatas of the path, as mentioned repeatedly earlier. And as mentioned earlier talks, the 8 khatas of the path can be divided into 3 parts: sila, samadhi, and panya. Through the sila training, the morality, you can avoid the transgressive form or the mental defilement, and through the samadhi, more concentration, you can stop the active form or the mental defilement from arising, and through the wisdom, insight knowledge, and enlightenment, you can uproot the dormant form or the mental defilement. So in this way, you are breaking mental defilement moment by moment. So that's why, in this sense, you are honored as a bhikkhu, according to the definition, bhikkhu. Whoever breaks mental defilement is honored as a bhikkhu. So although you are not ordained as a monk or nun, you are breaking mental defilement moment by moment by practicing Vipassana meditation. Thus you are honored as bhikkhu. So that in this way, the weapon or the knowledge, the learning is very useful and beneficial to the participant. So making great use of the weapon, you can cross the desert, or the life, the intellect, the desert, without the danger, you can avoid the danger and cross the desert. So this samsara, the round or the rebirth, endless round or the rebirth, is compared to a desert, endless desert. If you have the suitable weapon to protect yourself when you cross the desert, so you can cross it, you can successfully cross the desert without much problem and difficulties. Just like fighting in the battle, in the front line of the battle, if you have suitable, powerful weapon, so it's not difficult for you to face with the enemies. So in the same way, if you have the suitable amount of the knowledge of Buddha's teaching, learning Buddha's teaching, so you won't be find difficult to face with the enemies. So by using the weapon or the knowledge, you can avoid the akusala, unwholesome evil deeds, and then you can perform wholesome deeds. So here yogis are observing the phenomena which are newly occurring from moment to moment. And starting from the physical phenomena, rising, falling, and the sensation, and the thoughts, and general phenomena, seeing, hearing, etc. So if you see the phenomena, if you observe the phenomena, you can see the true nature of them, and their knowledge will intuitively take place. Thus you can reduce the ignorance and delusion moment by moment. So in due course of time, your meditation, Vipassana, insight, knowledge become mature, enough to defeat enough to keep mental defilements from being active. So in this way, by practicing Vipassana meditation, you practically overcome the mental defilements. And then later, when you obtain the metta enlightenment, you can cut off, you can uproot all kinds of mental defilements. And that's called samuccaya. So every noting, every moment of observation is means counts and means developing wholesomeness, the accumulating wholesomeness. The developing wholesomeness means you make wholesomeness from small to big, and from little to a lot. So you develop the viriya, mindfulness, and concentration. So you develop the samadhi factors of the path, and in this way you develop the Vipassana insight, Vipassana wholesomeness, and spontaneously or simultaneously you overcome, you reduce unwholesomeness, and you develop, accumulate wholesomeness. So thus you are purifying spiritually, and so this is very important to purify spiritually yourself. So the weapon or the knowledge, the learning Buddha's teaching is always necessarily useful, beneficial to the possessor. The question can be raised like this. The Buddha said the weapon or the knowledge help us to overcome unwholesomeness and to develop wholesomeness. Is it true to everybody? So just like the hero in the battle, if you know how to use the weapon systematically, then of course the weapon is beneficial to him. So otherwise, it cannot be beneficial to the weapon holder. So Sayadaw would like to explain this point tomorrow, but now our time is up. That's all for today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.